Inventory is kind of a big topic to cover, and it's vital to every part of Warehance. So inventory represents a count at any given point of any given physical product in the warehouse. You can view inventory by product, by location, by both. In this case, I'm looking at the inventory locations page, which can be a bit confusing, but this is basically a list of each product at each location. So for example, I have two Spork singles here on the product, but they're in different locations. So I can see that there is 10 quantity of Spork single in the rejected inventory location, and there's 190 quantity in location 01. So I can go ahead and click on one of these, and I can go to the product page for the Spork single, and you can get some more information here on the product page, such as the on-hand, allocated, available, and back order. So what do each of these four main inventory statistics mean for each product? On-hand represents the total quantity of that product that is in the warehouse or in all of your warehouses combined. Allocated represents the total quantity of that product in your warehouses that has been allocated to outstanding order items, so order items that are yet to be fully fulfilled. Available represents the total quantity of the product that is still unallocated but is available to be allocated to outstanding order items that may come in. So this is essentially your on-hand minus your allocated. And then your backordered represents the remaining quantity of that product that is needed to meet the allocation needs of your outstanding order items. So if you're short on product and you need to get more product to fulfill the outstanding order items, backordered is how many of those products that you actually need. One thing to note with locations is that certain locations can affect how your inventory moves throughout the warehouse. So inventory will always live at a location, but a location can be sellable, which means that it can be allocated to incoming orders, the inventory at that location. It can be pickable, which means that it's available for the picking flow. So only locations that are pickable are allowed to store inventory that can be used to pick orders and aggregate them. Picking is a whole separate video, so go ahead and check that out if you need more information on that. Location can also be a tote, meaning it is solely used in the picking process, and it's used for the aggregation of inventory into an order, and then transporting that order from the initial inventory location to shipping stations. A tote can't be sellable or pickable. So there's a few ways to adjust and transfer inventory. The first one is via inbound shipments. So if you take an inbound shipment and receive it, you're creating new inventory. And then there's two main actions you can take from the product page to adjust or transfer inventory. Up here in the top right, you can see there's the adjust and transfer inventory buttons. So let's look at one at a time. Let's click on adjust inventory, and you can see a page comes up here that you can select the warehouse that you want to adjust at, the location at that warehouse. So let's select location 01. It'll show you the quantity in that location on the right hand side of that drop down. So I'm going to go ahead and select that location 1. You have to select a reason. So in this case, I don't actually have any reasons available to add them. Go to inventory and then adjustment reasons underneath that. And I'm going to just call this one testing. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to the Spork single, adjust inventory, and select all of what we had selected before. And I'm going to go ahead and select the testing reason. And then the adjustment amount, let's add 100. You can also make this a negative number in which it would subtract the adjustment amount. So now I've saved that, and if I go back, there should be 300 on hand. It's perfect, and 280 available. This was before 180, but since there are no outstanding order items to allocate the new inventory to, it adds them completely to available. So now let's look at transfer inventory. So let's say we want to move from location 1 to location 2. I can do that, and I can choose the quantity in which I want to move. So let's go ahead and do 100 and transfer inventory. And now if I go back, there should still be 300. If I refresh, there is. But if I go to the inventory tab next to product info, we can view all the inventory locations, or all the locations the inventory is at. So in this case, we can see there's 100 in location 2, 190 in location 1, and 10 in rejected inventory location. Now if we scroll down a bit, we can see all the history of this inventory, and we can see why it was adjusted the way it was, and we can see by whom and when.